Alright guys and girls, welcome to next video on HTML. We are talking about HTML and this is introduction to HTML, so nothing advanced here. So let's get started. In previous video, by the way, if you haven't watched previous video, please do watch that first, because we are building up on what we have learned in the previous one. So there's a playlist there. And if you are a complete beginner, start with the very first video and you'll have a little more grasp on what we are talking about. So let's get started. In previous video we did some tags and we ended up with image tag, and we did some doc type declaration thing like that. And again, in the beginning you will be writing this stuff way too many times and you really don't want to type this too much. So in VS Code you have a very simple way of generating all those HTML tags, and the way to do that is give out the exclamation mark and hit tab, and there you go, you have your little HTML tag, or sorry, HTML boilerplate generated for you. So in this part there are few things which are new. We have already seen what this is, and this is us telling the browser that it is a HTML document. And for now the language this document will be is in English, so language equals to English. And we have this head tag which will display some very important information required by a browser to make our site more functional and other stuffs. So the title, we have already seen the title, and you can change that, which will be reflected in here. Okay, so this is HTML 101, so you can see that the title has changed. Okay, very good. Now the questions we will deal with today is something we call meta tag. Okay, these meta tags are some information which can be used to get more information about the site or that particular page. So this is what we will start with. The first meta tag which is important is the character set. Since we can make website in multiple languages, it's always wise to tell browser that the character set we are using is UTF-8 encoding. If you don't include this little meta tag, some browsers may not render your Unicode characters if you are working on non-English character, let's say Chinese or some accented words in Spanish or French or anything like that. If you don't include this, some browser may not display those characters correctly. Again, the behavior on that is very erratic. It depends on the version, it depends on the browser. So just make sure that you include this on every HTML page. The next one is Viewport. This is more concerned with the responsiveness of a site, since more than half of web traffic is coming from mobile devices, and we should now be very conscious about how your site is actually displayed on mobile page, and you have to think about that every step of the way. So be wary of that. And this is something to do with Internet Explorer, so you can do more research on it why it is here, but just a few meta tag we have pre-generated for us. And again, there are so many meta tag we can add, and I will give you some example of those meta tag right now. The meta tag in general is of this form. We have this meta tag, and notice that there is no closing meta tag. Some HTML have closing element like title, and we have closing title. We have open HTML, closed HTML, open body, closed body, but meta tag is something which does not have that closing part. So meta tag is generally something like this. We have meta tag and name of that meta tag, and then we have this content, the actual content of that particular meta tag. And then we have another way of writing meta tag, which is of this one. We have this HTTP equivalent kind of meta tag, and this thing will change depending on another content, and this thing will change as well. So that's the kind of boilerplate of how to write meta tags. And in meta tag we have few different kind of name that you can use. The keyword meta tag tells search engine bots what the page is about and the keywords that is important for that particular page. Example, if your page is about cats, then you can write meta tag and mention those cats in there. So let's say if you want to mention keyword, okay, so meta name is keywords, and for content you can give, if your page is about cat or cat eating, I don't know, pasta, or let's say gray cat, or whatever it is, whatever that particular content is relevant to, you can use that. That is keyword. And then another tag we can use is description. Okay, the description will actually give you is about giving a short description of that particular page. So in description, the meta name is description and content is short description about your page. This is one of those, the keyword tag is generally not used nowadays, but you can keep that tag. It's important for other search engines, but Google generally ignores that because it's not because I think their algorithm has become so much sophisticated that they don't have to rely on those keywords. And again, those keyword meta tag were massively abused during initial years of Google, so generally they ignore that. And regarding description, the description is important, and you should include this meta tag in your HTML, in your complete HTML, and this kind of gives an idea of what this page is about, a very short description, and Google generally picks up what you have written here and displays that particular text in their search results. So let's, for example, let's go to Google and let's search for cats. Okay, let's come down. Now the thing that you see here, Google might pull this little information from your description meta tag. Okay, so I don't know if this site is actually picking up that, but let's test our theory. Again, Google might show that, or it might not show that. it's upon them, but they might use that. That's the point I'm trying to make. And if you come here, and here you go, here's the meta tag, and you can see that the name is description and content is the official home of Andrew Lloyd and whatever it is. See, you can see that this information was actually pulled from that meta information. So pound 20 and no booking fees. So is that correct? And no booking fees, yeah, okay. Luckily what I'm trying to show actually happened in my first try. So you can see that the information that Google displays here, okay, is actually pulling from that meta description. So it is important, and make sure that you have properly used those meta tags. So there is this meta tag description, very important, don't leave that out. And then there is another meta tag called robot, and this is for search engine as well. Again, I am not gonna explain everything about this meta tag because it will take way too much time. So make sure that you learn a bit more about these tags when you have time. And there is author. You can use name author and give it your name or whatever you want. You can include your copyright information here in that meta tag. And generator, you will generally see this meta tag generator being added by some CMS or some frameworks or something like that. You can see this generator being added by WordPress or Drupal or Joomla or whatever it is, whatever the case is, but you will see that and it is actually generally telling that this site is being built using that particular CMS. You can hide this meta tag in WordPress and almost all other site, but most people don't, and that's fine as well. There are few other meta tags that you can use, and the meta tag with the content and name is one kind of meta tag. And let me give you one small example of meta tag with this HTTP equivalent. So this is more of a use case kind of meta tag. So I want to use meta tag with HTTP equivalent property. The thing that I want to do is refresh the page, okay, every certain time. So the content is let's say 5, okay, and when I save that, what will happen is that every 5 seconds this page will refresh itself automatically. So you can see that after 5 seconds you will see the changes and page is being refreshed automatically. Okay, that's the point I'm trying to make. Okay, so yeah, there we go, we have a refresh every 5 seconds. There might be some use case for that, but just know that it can be done. Now the last meta that I want to talk about is actually redirecting user to another page. Okay, so the thing I will do is the same HTTP equivalent. I will do refresh, and for content what I would like to do is I would like to go to another site in 5 seconds, but that particular site is what I would like to do is, let's go to, so let's save this, and what this will do is after 5 seconds this page will automatically go to google.com, as you can see. Okay, so that's it. Okay, that's all for our little meta tag. So next I want to continue with our image tag display. There are few other things that I want to add up on the image tag. So let me get rid of this meta tag, and okay, let's get rid of this as well. Let's open up our okay, so last time we used a meta tag to give to add image to our site. We tried pick some placeholder image. Let me grab one image for now. Let's grab random image every time we load our page. So this is the source. Let's save this, and we have our image, and every time I refresh we'll get a different image. Okay, so you can add few more attributes here to make your image different. Let's say you can use width, and let's give it 100, and you can see that the size of image was reduced to about 100 pixel. So not about, it's exactly 100 pixel. So if you give height of 200, and it will make sure that it will be of width 100 and height of 200. You can obviously change that, and you will see so many places using this particular idea. So there you go, we have certain height and certain width, height of 900 pixel and width of 500 pixel. Okay, so I hope you've got my point about this. You can change the size of image. Again, using this might have some impact on your site display. You might not want to give width and height to your images from HTML, generally speaking, and it's a best practice to control these two things from your CSS, which we will learn in near future. I will be making videos on CSS as well, CSS 101 course. Okay, so yeah, that's it. That's about the image. Next thing that I want to try is with text. Okay, so for text there are a few HTML tags you can use to make sure that you are actually making some style there. Okay, let me zoom it in. So the first thing I want to do is making text bold. So if I want to make this thing bold, I have this strong tag. Okay, you can place your content inside strong tag, and you can see that it just gets bold, and that's all about it to this. It's nothing complicated, absolutely easy. And if you want to make it italic or emphasize, you can use em tag. Okay, so you can see that em tag will make this italic. Okay, and that's it. That's the gist of it. It's not complicated than this. It's that easy. The next little thing I want to do is to talk about HTML attributes. We have already seen few attributes like height, width, and alternative text in context of image, but I want to introduce one more attribute called title. Okay, the title attribute will give a hint of that particular HTML element. So let's say this is a title. Okay, so what this will do is add a little pop-up help text. So you can see that the text I have written, this is a title, is actually displaying when I am hovering into that particular HTML element. So this is kind of a help text or tooltip text or something similar. So this kind of help text, the more advanced form of this little thing can be found in various sites, where when you hover over some elements, it will show you something, some text with some styling and all that good stuff. So yeah, this is another frequently used kind of tag, HTML attribute. Yeah, and to end this video, I want to talk about few considerations you have to keep in mind. Okay, so the first thing is that we generally write all our HTML in lowercase. Again, it's not absolutely important. You can write all your HTML tags in uppercase, but as a general practice, you write every HTML tag in lowercase. Okay, you can use uppercase, there is no restriction in that, but as a best practice, use smaller case. Another thing is that use quote in your attribute value. What I mean by that is that HTML5 will not ask you to use code. For example, in href, in anchor text href, you might leave this and let's say give it, and this will work the same. There is nothing preventing you from doing this, but again, the best practice or recommended thing is that you use quote in this one. Okay, so like this, not like the previous one, but it is recommended that you use like this. The next thing to consider is using single and double quotes. So the thing, use double, sorry, again this is only a recommendation and not a fixed rule. What I'm saying here is that there is nothing that is preventing you from doing this. Okay, writing your title in single quote, this is perfectly okay, it will work, there won't be any errors. But we generally add our HTML tag in double quotes. That is of course generally. Sometimes you might have to mix it up, and at that time you might have to do something differently. One example case might be when you have to use double quote inside your text, like let's open paragraph, let's give it a title, and let's say in this case, since you are using single quote in your text, you have to use double quote outside. Okay, so that's the user case. Or let's get reverse of this. Okay, and the reverse of this might be, let's say title equals to this cat. Okay, in this case, when you have to use double quote inside your attribute value, you have to use single quote outside. So again, there is nothing preventing you from doing what I have done here, but you can see that it is generally a good practice to use double quote, and you will see a majority of coders using double quote in HTML. Okay, I think this will wrap up our HTML video for this particular session. In next session we will dive into more HTML tags and HTML elements, and actually build up a few more things, learn few more HTML tags and attributes, and improve our knowledge and work on few more things. Okay, so this is it for today. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and share, and don't forget to hit that bell icon so that you won't miss my next videos. And have a nice day. Bye bye, and see you all in my next video. Thank you.